Hello and welcome to the Eating Disorder Therapist podcast. I'm Harriet Frew, eating disorder therapist, here to support you in overcoming disordered eating and finding peace with food. So today I want to tell you a little bit about my new app, which is launching today. So very excited about this. Something I hadn't really planned. This opportunity came at me sort of sideways in September, and been working really hard over the last couple of months to put everything together. So I'm going to tell you a bit more about it today, how it could potentially support you, guide you on your journey in healing your relationship with food and body. So let's talk a bit more about it. Imagine having your own therapist in your pocket to support you on your food healing journey. So it's going to give you a roadmap and personalized recovery tool to guide you every step of the way. Now, I know in my late teens and early 20s, I struggled with an eating disorder. I had bulimia. It really left me feeling trapped, anxious, completely disconnected from myself. Definitely one of the lowest points in my life. My self-worth was on the floor. I was not in a good place. But anyway, I have recovered. And my process of recovery was anything but linear. It was messy, it was complicated, but it really has taught me so many valuable lessons and deep compassion for anyone going through similar struggles. Now, for anyone that knows my story, I was in some ways very fortunate. My lowest point really at the age of 23 on a beach in Western Australia. I was going travelling, trying to escape all my problems, but they all came with me. But I decided then that I really wanted to overcome the eating disorder. I wanted to train as a counsellor. And from that very dark place, I really was able to tap into my purpose, my passion, really having a very strong desire to support others. So I was so passionate about helping others in a way that I hadn't experienced myself. And I was absolutely a wounded healer. So on my return to the UK after my Australian trip, I began training as a therapist and going all in on my healing journey. Now, it wasn't an overnight recovery by any means. It took a lot of therapy, a lot of journaling, a lot of personal reflection, a lot of talking to people in my most important relationships. It was multifaceted, I guess. Learning to eat regularly again, learning to stop restricting, breaking out of so many of those toxic cycles I was in. Anyway, but driven by my own experience, I became so passionate about supporting others on their path to food freedom. And then I was very fortunate. In my 20s, I managed to secure a job working for the Adult Eating Disorder Service in Cambridge for the NHS, and spent a lot of my career there, really honing my skills, getting experienced in working with eating disorders, disordered eating, and now I work privately. But over the years, I've worked with one-to-one with hundreds of clients, guiding them with overcoming disordered eating, building self-compassion, rediscovering joy in their lives. So both from that NHS setting, that learning ground, and in private practice. So in addition to the therapy that I do with people, I've developed some comprehensive resources to make healing accessible and actionable for everyone. So the Freedom with Food app brings together everything I've learned, so you can access daily support, structured guidance, and a compassionate community all in one place. So my hope is that the app really empowers you to heal your relationship with food and body and to live your life fully with confidence and peace. So how can the app really help you? So it's going to support you to break free from disordered eating and negative body image by interrupting symptoms and by working on the deeper issues. Now, I guess I feel it's really important to work on the deeper issues. You know, if we just change behaviours, it's not going to lead to full food freedom. It's going to help you to establish regular balanced eating without anxiety or guilt. Now, regular eating is often the self-care cornerstone of recovery before we can build intuitive eating habits, etc. Once you've got those regular eating habits in place, it's going to help you build that intuitive eating pattern, self-compassion, confidence, and self-esteem. It also offers a personalised roadmap towards recovery, because I've developed so many resources over the years, but obviously not everything is going to be relevant for you. It's going to really depend where you are on your journey. And it will transform your mindset with daily journaling, affirmations, and expert guidance. And you can track your progress, overcome challenges, and celebrate every step forward. So it's very interactive, which, I think is just lovely, just really, really affirming. And it recommends podcast episodes that will inspire you as well. So, I've got so many resources from my podcast, but that's all going to be fed in to the recovery journey on the app. So you can access those additional things that are very much tailored to where you are on your journey, rather than trying to sift through all 420, whatever it is, episodes to find the ones that are right for you. So let's just dive into 9 areas you'll be working on inside the app to find your food freedom. So number 1, boosting motivation for long-term change. Now, if you're struggling with food, you probably feel in 2 minds about change. One part of you is desperate to move on and let go of a destructive relationship with food and your body. Another part of you is clinging on tightly. And this can feel perplexing, confusing, as your feelings might vary across your day, because food, I guess, is fundamentally a coping strategy. And this is what the app is going to really help you understand so much more, because we often think it's all about food, but actually it's so much more about feelings too. And this is often unconscious, okay? But you'll be able to really begin to explore your ambivalence around change, untangle what the eating disorder means to you, because maybe it's a way of coping with difficult feelings. Maybe you're trying to control your weight. Maybe it's deeply familiar, offers safety and reassurance. Maybe it's part of your identity and you don't know yourself without it. But you can gain a deeper understanding about your ambivalence, really understand how this eating disorder is helping you cope. And this creates understanding and breathing space to begin to contemplate change and to deal with the deeper issues. Okay, number 1, looking at the roots of the problem. Now, there is not a simple cause and effect to developing an eating disorder. And it's said that genetics load the gun and environment pulls the trigger. Many contributing factors will have combined to influence your relationship with food and with yourself. And you can gently explore the different strands so you develop psychological understanding and awareness. Now, this is so important, because if we just change our behaviors and we don't really look at the roots and understand the blocks around our beliefs and everything else, we're going to be going around in circles, or potentially transferring a fixation on food to something else, another coping strategy. So by working on the roots of the problem, you'll be piecing together parts of the jigsaw puzzle to gain clarity. Now, understanding, of course, doesn't automatically bring about change. However, I really believe that is an important baseline for healing. Now, when I think about my journey and struggling with bulimia, and so much of the root of the problem was related to things that happened in my upbringing, with how I felt about myself, and then how I use food to cope. And if I hadn't looked at some of those deeper issues and I just tried to shift the behaviors around, it wouldn't have brought the long-lasting change that I have today. Number 3, self-awareness. So important with any healing. So the app allows daily check-ins and accountability. You get to track your progress, answer questions, and reflect on areas for improvement. So it's like a daily check-in if you want it, or you can reduce the check-ins to a regularity that is going to suit you. But it helps you become increasingly objective and to obtain a bird's eye view down on your eating and body habits. So instead of feeling lost in the jungle of disordered eating with no map or guide, you begin to recognize triggers for behaviors. You recognize your changes in mood. You notice your levels of self-passion and self-care, or lack of, and you can incrementally make shifts along the recovery road through daily intentional accountability. So important, self-awareness. Number 4, breaking free from good and bad foods. So when you struggle with food, you probably categorize food as good or bad, healthy or unhealthy, and your judgment around eating will be extreme. You criticize yourself harshly when you cannot stick rigidly within rules. And although this feels like a way of exerting control around food, it often exacerbates binging and out of control eating behaviors. So the app can help you incrementally move towards food neutrality. And this is achieved through gradual exposure to food variety, stepping out of your comfort zone, and you can begin to question your beliefs around food and where these have originated. And you can begin to challenge your black and white mindset and develop a more flexible model for peaceful eating. Okay, number 5. Now, this might not be relevant for everyone listening, but for some people listening, maybe you're in quite a disordered place with food. So if you have things going on like binging, purging, over exercise, the app will help you to start to interrupt these disordered food habits. Because I guess for many of us, sometimes we start out with an innocent and well-meaning diet which goes too far. What begins as an intentional, self-love boosting weight loss journey becomes a much darker venture altogether. Disordered eating habits creep in and your world feels utterly out of control. So the app can support you to reduce destructive behaviours, offering tools for change and in the tracking of progress too. Now, I know from my own experience when I was trying to reduce self-induced vomiting, which I was experiencing with bulimia, it really helped when I was setting myself some little goals to try and go an extra day, an extra hour, even sometimes, without indulging is the wrong word, without slipping back into those behaviors. So again, the app can really help you track this so you've got measurable progress. Because I know for myself, when I had gone so many days without slipping back into old behaviors, I felt such a sense of accomplishment, and actually having a sort of streak of positive days, it really helps build the momentum and reminds you of why you don't want to go back and repeat those behaviors again. So that accountability can be so helpful. Number 6, emotions and food. So restrictive and overeating behaviors are often a way of unconsciously dealing with difficult emotions. Through binging or restricting, you might feel temporary distraction or relief from your feelings, and you may be extremely disconnected from your body with little awareness or emotional literacy around feelings and sensations. So the app offers a safe place to explore these emotions without judgment. And sometimes you might need additional support with this aspect through therapy. Okay, I'm not saying that an app can completely be a substitute for like a real person and connection. For mental well-being, it's so important for us all, though, to learn how to connect and manage emotions effectively to serve you, to keep you fully embodied and authentically whole. And if you struggle with intense emotions and emotional dysregulation, you can learn ways to feel safe in your body. Okay, number 7, mastering a constructive food mindset. So with your mind channeling 60,000 plus thoughts a day and many being repetitive, you can understand the power of your thinking. Now, when you have disordered eating habits, your thoughts will be dominated by food, weight, and shape concerns. You will experience huge anxiety around these issues, and your thoughts might feel wildly out of control. So the app can help you to develop awareness of your thoughts. You can practice mindfulness techniques and learn self-compassion. And you can also learn to challenge unhelpful thoughts with more rational alternatives. And this often leads to deeper work and uncovering faulty beliefs that keep you stuck. For example, if you don't feel good enough deep down, and then you can really look at where are the roots of this? Because in the moment, you might not feel good enough because you've broken a food rule, but often this has much deeper roots, maybe connected to your early relationships, to trauma, to things that happened, in your early life. Okay, number 8, body image. So your body image is likely to be extremely negative if you struggle with food. You might fiercely dislike your body and experience deep self-loathing. So the app can help you improve body image and to practice body neutrality. You can actively learn to develop a kinder relationship towards your body, so achieving greater self-acceptance. And you can learn to appreciate and value your body for its strength and mobility rather than judging it so harshly based purely on aesthetics. And number 9, self-esteem. If you struggle with disordered eating, your self-worth will be predominantly based on your body shape or weight. When you're doing well, you'll feel good or at least a bit better about your body. And when you're feeling out of control with food, you may feel guilty, anxious, and ashamed. So this app will help you to value yourself from the inside out, relying less on external validation and approval. And this may feel exceedingly difficult at first because you're possibly your own worst critic and may have relied on manipulation of your weight as a way of boosting self-esteem. But beginning to deeply value and appreciate yourself for your many other attributes allows self-esteem to be slowly rebuilt. Okay, so I've given you a bit of a whistle-stop tour. There is more within the app than I've discussed there, but it gives you quite a good framework and an essence of some of the things that we are covering. There's also some really deep work on self-compassion with some specific modules, looking more as well at overactivity, lots of things. And podcast episodes will be pulled in to support you at different moments as well, which can be really personalized and tailored to you. So to take away, it is possible to change and find your personal food freedom. Okay, I know this because I have fully recovered after being in the darkest depths of an eating disorder. I know it's true from my own recovery experience and from supporting hundreds of others in therapy. There will be many inevitable bumps on the journey. It's not a quick fix, but it's worth taking the courageous step to seek support, and it's never too late. Letting go of disordered eating patterns is not only about improving your relationship with food and body, it's about finding yourself, maybe refinding yourself or finding yourself for the very first time and engaging more fully with life. Okay, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're interested in finding more about the app, the link is in the show notes. Hope to see you on the other side. Thank you so much for listening today. If you're not following me already on Instagram, do seek me out, the Eating Disorder Therapist _. And for further support with your relationship with food, do go to the eatingdisordertherapist.co.uk. And if you enjoy this podcast, I will be so grateful if you follow, rate and review, as it helps it reach so many more listeners. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to sharing another podcast episode with you very soon.